Yo, what's up, everybody? Um, Welcome back. Spectre of Anti-Blackness. We're back. It's been it's been a while. It's been some time. Um, Last episode was recorded in August, I want to say. Um, I tried to record one in December. It did not go well. I tried to make art part 2. Um, it needs more work. Um, what have you guys been up to? 'Cause me, I've been busy. I've been there's been a lot going on, you know? I haven't done one of these in a while, especially a a simple one, like the one I did before this. We had Charles and MJ on Andor, and then before that, Across the Spider-Verse, I think was um that was Maddie and MJ. I the first recording of that one was better, but you know, it's fine. It's out there. Um There was like one main thing I wanted to talk about, but I didn't really have much to talk about around it. So I've just been thinking of like other little things I could also talk about. We'll see how long it goes. Um, but first, why haven't I been doing the thing? I said I didn't want to go too long without recording. It's been like, almost half a year, maybe a third of a year. Um, I've been busy. Usually I do these past bedtime, which it is technically now. Um, but like I rarely stay up past bedtime these days because I have to get up so early to work. Um, you guys don't want to hear about that stuff. It's just, I'm busy. That's it. I've been busy. I'm trying to be less busy now, or I guess the same amount of busy, but more busy with my own stuff instead of busy with the people in my life. That's where a lot of my busy comes from. I need to take some more time for myself, I think, is the lesson here. So maybe a couple small things before we get into the main event. Have we ever done it like that? I don't think we have. Let's try it. We might like it. So since it's a new year, according to Gregor, whoever that is, Gregor and his calendar, it's a new year. What was last year like, For me, at least like the end half of it, I was very engrossed in a lot of video essays, more so than usual. I'm pretty into that scene anyway, you know. But with the job I have right now, I have free ears most of the time. So like while I'm working, I will listen to video essays. And that's been really nice because you guys know I'm a fan of those. I assume you know. I don't know if you've ever talked about that or not. I made my own little essay, my own YouTube video. That was cool. I want to do more. Um, but I'm reaching this point where like the ideas for YouTube, I think, are maybe siphoning the ideas for the podcast, which may be another reason why It hasn't been updated in a while. And there's a second podcast, um, Cosmic Colored Kids. Go check that out if you can. It's still new. Well, at time of recording, anyway. I learned a lot last year. I learned a lot. I grew a lot. You know, I'm changing. I'm growing. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not perfect. You know, I've made mistakes in the past. I've been wrong, done wrong, and I'll never, I'll never try to dispute that. But, it's never been from a place of malice or harm or cruelty or anything like that, Ill will. Kind of just the name of the game. This thing where we call life. This little zany journey. But it was a good year. It was a good year. I think, overall. Pretty cool. Ups and downs. Friends were made or lost, or made then lost, or... So, there was some point in the year last year where I got into like this ambient soundtrack instrumental kick, kinda, It started around Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. I started listening to the soundtrack for that movie. Not like the accompanying, various niggas album, like Black Panther. But like the actual, background music. Also for Black Panther. For Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse for Black Panther. Some video games too. I had God of War Ragnarok on there. The Last of Us Part 2. I'm already a person who's like really into instrumental music. Like, I grew up playing Dynasty Warriors. And the trick of Dynasty Warriors, the maps, they usually take anywhere from they can take 20 to 40 minutes to complete normally, I would say. But you can really you can also maybe speed run it, maybe get it down to 5 or 15 depending on the map. Or if you're really fucking taking your time, it could be upwards of 90 minutes, And all the while, there's music playing in the background. And these songs are maybe a minute to 1 to 2 minutes long. 2.5 at longest, maybe. And they have to repeat for for at least an hour. Some tracks, some battles, the songs will change depending on if you're winning or losing or a major event happens. But what Dynasty Warriors has to do is strike this balance between having a song you gotta listen to it for for a whole hour. So a lot of those songs I'm really into. Unfortunately, online you can only really find the short version where it doesn't loop. The longer versions usually get taken down by whoever owns the rights, which is lame. Art shouldn't be about owning rights. Is that what Art Part 2 is about? Ownership and artistic integrity and artistic duty to community? Someone write that down. I think that's what Art Part 2 is about. Anyway, so I was on this whole kick. I'm listening to old Dynasty Warriors music, namely 3 and 5. Those are the ones I played growing up. I'm listening to I have instrumental music that I've picked up just throughout life somehow, like the music scene by Blockhead. Um, Attack the Doctor is my jam on that one. Full Circle by Beat Sofrene. I like which one is it? Frozen Time, maybe? I like a lot of the songs on both those albums. I used to put them on and go to sleep to them in like high school, or maybe after high school, somewhere around that time. Late teens, early 20s. And like other little indie songs picked up from places somehow, whatever's been like suggested to me or whatever. Um, and then to my surprise, fucking Andre S 3000 fucking goes and releases New Blue Sun. That's what it's called, right? And I was like, I'm blown away because I mean it's good. Who's gonna dispute that? But I'm like, yo, I was on this same type time. Like that's wild. We was both there, you know, same time, same place. It's cool. And I think it's interesting how people online are like, oh, you know what? Where's my rap? Like, you guys, you music lovers, you don't even get it where the true music is. Andre 3000 had some comments about not making a rap album. A lot of black old heads have been making comments recently. Some of them I will speak on, some of them I will not. But he was talking about how, you know, he don't really got shit to rap about no more. Like, rapping's a young man's game. Um, he probably gets it better than I do, you know. I'm still a young buck, so what do I know? Um, but it sounded legit, you know, so I was on board with it. Yeah. I know that in the past I've been like, oh, you know, dad rap seems like a cool thing. Um, but maybe just up to a point, you know. I don't know, maybe at some point it kind of starts to go against the idea of what hip hop really is, which we'll get to later. There's more comments from old folk. All that to say though, even though I haven't listened to it very many times, I did enjoy and still do enjoy the album. Um, Goat Rodeo Sessions is another good instrumental, mostly instrumental album I like to listen to. Disco Elysium has good music. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Um, so that was fun. Um, but according to what's it called? Uh, FM Scrabble. What the fucking thing? Um, Last FM. That's what it's called. Pretty sure. My top album last year was actually Sundial. Um, it was it released last year. It's probably my favorite album of last year. I went to see No Name back in November. It was amazing. I was in the front row. Um, I try not to think about it too much because I was like, I knew all the words except for one song. I think it was song 32 or 31. I don't remember which one. But other than that, I knew the words to pretty much every song. And my name would look at me, and because I was nervous, I would stumble over the words. So, like, she was like, this nigga probably don't even know the words. And I felt really bad. I was very embarrassed for myself. I was like, no, unbelievable. Um, I was supposed to like start a charter, um, restart the charter in Phoenix. Um, Coincidentally, it was going to be at the same store that it was the first time. I was like, oh yeah, there's this place called Grassroots. I know the people there, they're cool. They're like, oh yeah, we did that Grassroots before. I was like, oh, cool. But I ended up moving, so it didn't happen. Now I'm supposed to be starting it up here in Seattle, but I haven't been out. I don't have a car anymore. I don't go places except for work, which takes up majority of my day, as you know, as it's ought to do. There's these two places I had in mind to go to, but I just haven't been there yet. When I'm not working, I don't want to leave the house. I'm pooped from work. Um, but I do plan on at some point getting the thing opened up here. It'll be nice to connect with people and read these books. Last year was the year of the video essay. This year is gonna be the year of books. I'm gonna expand my cranium, brainium a different way this year. I'll still listen to video essays or watch video essays, but I'm trying to have, I'm trying to book it up. Um, yeah, Sundial was my favorite album of last year. I also started listening to No Fear of Time again by Black Star. I used to listen to it on Luminary, but then they decided to take it off Luminary, and I was waiting for the vinyl release, but it's been like a year and radio silence, so I just had to get it on Bandcamp. Um, no, whatever. So I guess now is as good a time to talk about this as any. Um, Mostef Yassim Bey, one half of Black Star, recently been interviewed and asked if he thought Drake was hip hop, and he was like, Drake feels like pop to me, and he talked about the commercial congruency, synergy, how it's able to his music. You can shop at Target with it. You can go to a mall, hear some Drake, and I haven't heard a lot of Drake recently, and the Drake I have heard in the past has always been like the most popular stuff. So like, of course, that falls under that category because that's just kind of what he does. Um, I wouldn't really say I'm a hater of anyone. I've never really liked Drake or his music. I don't like the vibe, the appropriation and such, but like, I agree in the sense of like this is going back to the conversation around what should hip hop be, what should rap be, like, what it was birthed from, what it meant, counterculture, revolutionary kind of thing, and like what it was for Mos Def when he was like in the thick of it. Still making music now, by the way. Um, No Fear of Time is only like, I think, 2 years old. Um, but yeah, Drake's music isn't really like against the system in any sort of way. It's very congruent with the system, with capitalism, with commercialism. Um, what's he standing up against? What's he standing up for? I think is kind of where he was going with it, because he later in the interview was talking about like, late stage capitalism and how the system's buckling, and he's like, what then? So I don't know. I thought this was gold star. You get a gold hat, cool cat. Those have been my two jams. So okay, so like so far this year, I've been listening to Sundial Still, No Fear of Time, Igor, and Summertime '06. Um, those have been my jams. Uh, we'll see what else is in store for the year if we get new music or, whatever. Actually, in a recent Instagram post, No Name was saying new album this year. That's lofty. That's a lofty goal. Sundial just came out last year, and as far as I understand it, a lot went into making it. So, I mean, hey, if it does come out this year, I'm definitely gonna fucking bump it, but, you know, I'm not getting my hopes up just yet. Um, I have a bunch of plans for YouTube. Actually, let's just get into the main point here. I don't want to bury the lead too deep. We're 16 minutes in. If you heard another sound aside from my yawn, that was a plane. I live nearby a airport. Don't dox me. Um, so I guess I'll just start this by apologizing for being wrong. Um, Dave Chappelle's disappointing. I'm disappointed. I was tricked. I was fooled. Um, Initially, I liked Dave. I thought he was funny. And, the whole turning away from the 50 mil and then going to Africa and, like, fuck the spotlight, I'm doing my thing. And, like, coming back in this big and funny way. And he's, black dude. So that's a part of it. Um, oh, seems I forgot to vibrate again, guys. Apologies. There we go. Yeah, it's difficult because, there's not really a lot of people you can say you look up to as a black man. Man, weird term, isn't it? But yeah, he felt like he had integrity, you know. Um, and the closer came and went, and people were upset about that. But like, so the way I saw it at the time was like, I had to watch I had to watch Feek's video. Mm, Dave Chappelle, goat or turf? And my whole stance on the whole like trans joke thing was always like, I didn't see him as promoting harm, and I always felt like the joke was directed specifically towards white trans people. Um, so yeah, that was kind of like my rationale around things. Um, but I was able to see how, whether you like the jokes or not, you don't get to say whether they're harmful or not. Proof's in the pudding, right? Um, and yeah, I won't get too far into that, but suffice to say, I was cool enough to like, I saw a show last year. It wasn't just Dave. It was Dave and Chris Rock, and also Black Star. So that was great. I was really into that. Um, and true to his word, more or less, did not tell any trans jokes. Trans people were mentioned twice. The first time in his recounting of the attack in Cali that he suffered and his comments around it. And the other time was like in a joke about porn, I think. And he's like, oh, I can't get caught watching this because, whatever, they'll get me. So it felt more like at his detriment. Like, I don't know, that felt like, alright, I'm watching you, buddy. But that was it, and the whole however long he was up there. So I was like, okay, you know? In his last special, he was kind of like, I'm not going to do jokes anymore about you guys until, like, we're all on the same page. And that seemed to be how things were going to end. And then he went and fucking released, what's this new shit called? Whatever his new special's called, Christmas Tree. I don't know what the fuck he called it. New Pimp. I don't know. I don't know. First joke out the gate is a trans joke. And then he goes on to say, alright, but I'm not gonna talk about you guys. And then talks about them for like another 5-10 minutes. And then also recounts the Hollywood thing again, or the California thing. A Dreamer, that's what it's called. And like, it's how I feel about it, if you care. I assume you do because you're here. It really doesn't matter whether you think the jokes are funny or not, whether the jokes are funny or not. Fucking to an objective standpoint, right? Whether they're lowbrow or hanging fruit or justified or whether he's punching down. At the end of the day, David Chappelle, you said you were done. You said you were not gonna continue. And yet here you are doing exactly what you said you weren't gonna do. And trying to lampshade it. And like, it feels disingenuous. The integrity is gone. And so, I'm pulling my support. Because it just doesn't feel right to me. Especially with like how things are in the world right now. It's not like trans people are safe. And that shouldn't be okay just because you don't understand or don't agree. Life does not have to go through this filter of your brain. I would also have to say, however, even though he's been outed to be, at best, you forgot or you just forgot about the situation, whatever. The point that I want to try and make here is even still we should not demonize this man or, for these actions and sayings and thoughts and stuff. I guess if you're really into the, justice system or whatever, but like he hasn't like personally harmed anyone. I just think everyone makes dumb decisions and we all gotta learn to grow from them. I hope he's learning like we all are. And maybe one day we'll get a special and he'll fucking defend trans people if he wants to, confront his audience, which even if he doesn't consider himself a TERF, they definitely do. Not all of them, obviously, but those guys would be cheering when it's like, oh, this bad law did a bad thing, and you're like, yeah, no trans. Uh, yeah. So that was pretty much the main thing I had to talk about. As you can see, there wasn't really much to say other than that. Um, I don't know if that was like directed towards him or just like, just making my thoughts known out there. Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot of YouTube plans. I got a lot of stuff in the mix, stuff in the works. Um, Maybe some of it will become podcast episodes. Maybe I'll just, switch to YouTube fully. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with it. I haven't checked here in a while, and I saw that I got like 300 listens now, and it looks like it's been, like, people have been listening. I listen to it sometimes when I'm at work. Um, but I do that on YouTube. It's on YouTube now, by the way. I don't think Anchor counts that. When I looked at the stats, I didn't see that on there. So I think people are actually listening to this, or starting to, or whatever. It's at like 25 Spotify followers. I don't think I've told 25 people about this, so that number's not inorganic. So if you're one of those people, like, hey, what's up? Leave a comment. I don't have Spotify, but I have the fucking Anchor app, so it'll tell me. I'll say what's up. You can talk shop, or what's the opposite of like talk shop, but still talk. Anyway, I still have stuff I gotta watch. Um, the thing that oh, um, a part of Feeks, we did a watch for Blackface, Coonskin. No, is that the movie I like? Yeah, that's one I like. What's this fucking movie called? Black Face? No. What's the fucking what's the movie called? Do you guys know what the movie's called? Fuck. The Spike Lee joint with the fucking Steppin' Fett? No. That's a real guy. Sleep and Eat. Fuck. I gotta look now. This is gonna break my brain. Whiplash. This is bright. Why aren't you guys helping me out? I'm so embarrassed. Ow. Bamboozled. Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. So that was something I hadn't seen before. My family, I grew up watching Spike Lee joints. That one wasn't on the list. Saw like Crooklyn, and there was Jungle Fever and Do the Right Thing, and Malcolm X, all that good stuff. But yeah, that wasn't on the list. It was good though. I enjoyed it. I probably won't do a thing about it. I think it was covered fairly well in Feek Sting. Go check that out. I have my own thoughts, but it's been a while since I saw it. I didn't really write much down. So, yeah, it's good. Watch it if you can. I I was about to start talking about movies to watch um in the future and just realized I was supposed to go see Across the Spider-Verse. It was back in theaters this weekend. I was supposed to go see it on Friday and I missed it cuz like life drama, I guess, but that's pretty depressing. I gotta see if it's still out today. That's beside the point, though. Like, if it's not, that's whatever. Because, like, I've already seen this movie countless times. So if I miss it, it's fine. But, the theater's a different experience. I think they had it out in 4D as well. I wanted to check that out. I haven't seen a 4D movie in years. Just see the different experience, see if it makes a difference. But, good movie. And if I miss the chance, whatever. I'll wait for, like, the 20th anniversary release or, like, the 3-movie trilogy thing or something. Who knows? Um, I'm not gonna talk about the Cat Williams thing. I didn't finish watching it. I'm like a quarter of the way through. I watched like the 45 minute to like an hour part that was on YouTube or Twitter. I mean, the full thing on YouTube, which is like 3 or 4 hours or something. I haven't finished. I'm only like an hour or so in. It's a lot. I mean, I'm probably not gonna really talk about it, but I would like to say the one thing that I think is kind of important, the whole like men in dresses thing. Like, oh, you know how demoralizing it is? Like, oh, black men, you gotta put black men in dresses. They gotta be emasculated to perform in Hollywood. Um, that's kind of just it's kind of just a normal thing. Um, Actors of all shades and backgrounds have done that. Um, and also, I don't really see the big issue. I don't know, man. Personally, I'm like, I think the discourse around like the whole like, corrupting the youth thing, it doesn't make sense. I mean, with the amount of stuff that we're exposed to as children, I don't know. I mean, sure things affect us, but like, I don't know. I think we all turned out how we were gonna turn out anyway, more or less. I don't think watching fucking Big Mama's House or Tyler Perry like did something to me that wasn't gonna happen to me regardless. I don't even think it did anything to me in the first place. You know, that's not the stuff that was impactful to me. Kind of reminds me of like a conversation around like parental advisory, you know, on music and stuff like, oh, this is explicit. But a lot of people feel like, I wasn't given that same grace for my life. Oh, you want to put this explicit label on my music? Where was that? Where it was needed in my day-to-day life? I didn't get that label. I didn't get that warning. I wasn't kept from the exposure. And I'm just talking about my life here, and like I got this label. Anyway, it's a different topic. This movie's not out yet, but I did want to talk about it because there was discourse around it for a little while. which I don't think I've talked about yet. Maybe I have. The American School for Magical Negroes. Um, so like, this is a nuanced take, okay? So hang with me for a second. When the movie was first announced, everyone was really hyped for it. For different reasons. A lot of people thought it was gonna be basically like Black Hogwarts, you know, like, oh, well, it's gonna be just like black people doing magic and shit. That's cool. I'm not aware of the trope that's being talked about here of the magical Negro. Um, and other people were hyped knowing of it playing with that trope, right? So people were hyped about this movie. We were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go see School for Magic niggas. It's gonna be great. Um, and then the trailer dropped, and pretty much everyone turned on the movie. um, the people who thought it was Black Hogwarts were like, this isn't what I thought it was gonna be. And some people were like, hey guys, it was never that. They're talking about like the literal actual blaxploitation stereotype of the magical Negro, not blaxploitation, but it was around that time. Or maybe it wasn't blaxploitation, I don't know. I think the term was coined by Spike Lee. Anyway, in the trailer, we've got this recently. He's not new, but he's appearing in stuff now. He's getting in stuff. Maybe he is new. I don't know. The biracial dude from Dungeons and Dragons. The wizard boy. He's our main lead. And in the trailer we learn it's a love story. And quite seemingly, this fooled everyone, to me as well. He seems to fall for a white girl. So it seems like, you know, it's talking about, you know, the idea of the magical Negro and how they're supposed to use their powers to help white people feel good in their situation. And it kind of explores how, you know, maybe it shouldn't be used for that, or whatever. I don't know what the movie's going to talk about. But, like, you know, halfway through the trailer, we learn, oh, he's going to fall for this white lady. And that's going to be a whole thing. So everyone who wasn't already turned on the trailer for it not being Black Hogwarts had then turned on the trailer. Like, oh, you want to talk about magical Negroes, but we're doing this? This doesn't seem like the movie for this. So everyone had decided they disliked the trailer. Myself included. I was like, oh man, no, we can't do this. So I dismissed it. We all dismissed it. But I just read an article from the director who tries to explain himself. It doesn't talk about. It talks about people being misled about the Black Hogwarts thing, but doesn't talk about the other thing, which I'll get to why in a second. But I felt like they should have at least addressed that was some of the backlash. So he talks about how he himself is biracial, which is why he felt like the main lead should be, because he grew up in a time watching a lot of blaxploitation and magical Negro trope type movies like The Green Mile and stuff. He named another movie, I don't remember what it was. So I think it's honestly, I think it's fair for the main lead to be biracial since the director is, and since he has a, he has a story to tell there. Like, he fits in that narrative just as much as anyone else would. And the woman opposite of him, they keep calling her a woman of color, and I guess technically by that term she is, but also I think that's a dumb term. Um, but she's also biracial. She is Asian and white. Um, which doesn't necessarily dissuade the thing yet, right? You're like, okay, but like everyone fucking thought she was white anyway. Which I know, I did too. But just give me a second. He talks about how he purposefully chose fair-skinned people from both of these backgrounds because he wants the story to tackle um, how people try to assimilate into whiteness, even if they're like white passing. So he wasn't trying to do like a colorism thing, like, oh, these are like. He's like, it's good to showcase, darker skinned people as well. But we've got like this Asian American woman who's like, she's passing. She could definitely pass as white. Everyone thought she was white, but whiteness still is not afforded to her either. So despite all odds, this got me intrigued for it again. I'm not letting it off the hook per se, but I'm like, all right, I'll watch it for you guys, and I'll let you know whether it passes the test or not. Because we're on a knife's edge here. It can really go either way. But so it's been a roller coaster so far. It was released. It was announced, and I was like, okay, this could be good. Then the trailer released, and I was like, oh, maybe not. Then I read the interview, and I was like, okay, we'll see. So don't mark it off your lists yet. I still have this thing like watch black media before dismissing it. Because it seems like he's been really purposeful with this movie. Um, so we'll see what happens, Um, I still gotta watch They Clone Tyrone. I know. It's been. I should have seen it by now, but I haven't. I've seen some, like, when there's a movie and this movie's good, you've heard it's good, but you gotta be in a particular state to watch it, and you haven't gotten there yet. I've also still gotta see Queen and Slim. I know you guys are like black card now, but we'll get there. Not in taking my black card, just in like watching these movies that need to be watched. Um, I could stand to be a little more like topical, get things when they happen, but like y'all don't know me, I don't care about that shit. If I did, I'd be talking about The Last of Us Part 2 remastered right now. Um, so I'll do that just a little bit, but just because that was a great segue. Um, I was gonna get the WLF special edition. It was only $100. And for the stuff included in it, like, that's a fucking steal, if you ask me. Um, it was released for pre-order in like December. I was broke at that time. My life was different. Um, and then when I finally had enough money to pre-order it, I saw it wasn't available. I checked the first day it was available, right? But I didn't have the money then. And I checked back later, a few days later, maybe a week later, if I'm not fronting. It wasn't available, and it hasn't been available since. It was taken by a bunch of scalpers. I don't know how many they made, but it's been unavailable for a month. The game just released today, and it's still unavailable. I had to get the dumb standard edition. And the scalpers are selling it for like double the fucking price. And please, no one buy from these fucking assholes. Just fuck them. Um, but yeah, we're not doing that. We're not. That's a whole thing, you know. Um, I played a lot of Baldur's 3 last year. Baldur's Gate 3rd. Um, I got like 300 hours in the game. Actually, probably close to 400 now. Um, which you're probably like, oh, that's for all their time. Like, get out of here. I didn't ask for your opinion. You don't know my life. Like, sometimes the de-stressing is more important than our artistic pursuit. So, bite me. Um, I think that's all I have. Um, maybe I'll talk about some of the books that I read on here. Maybe we'll get back into talking about movies and TV shows. Maybe we'll open it up. I'm starting to get a little tired because I was closing my eyes as I was talking, and I saw myself in a building, and like the building has nice windows, and I'm like, cause this space that has nice windows now, so like we can invite people in. And I was like, wait, this podcast doesn't have a physical space. Um. Anyway, yeah. Uh. And so on. Whatever I was talking about. Just imagine that ended well. Picture that with a Klondike. Anyway, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to bed. I think. Um, this has been reported to the um HR. What am I talking about? Um, yeah, I think I'm more tired than I thought I was. So instead of trying to prolong this to reach normal um length, I'm just gonna end it here. So sorry if this was a nothing burger. Call it updates if it was. Um, Next we'll do maybe another movie or a TV show, or maybe a book. Who knows? I got a lot of books and more coming hopefully at some point. So maybe we'll check that out and see if my brain's changed any. Okay, so I pray you don't ruin something good. Take that how you will. Not my problem. I'm just wishing goodness on you. Um, Peace. Smell it. Smells. OB out. O, OBO.